My name is Jasmine Cutter, and I'm a master's student in the Range Department, and I study native bees. And studying native bees is a little bit like being passionate about dogs, but everyone you meet only knows about golden retrievers and maybe black labs. And that's nothing against those dogs. They're great breeds, they're fun, they're loyal, but those are only two types of dogs that's out there. There's a lot of diversity. There's poodles, there's greyhounds, there's St. Bernards, there's corgis, there's chihuahuas. And if you only know about golden retrievers, you're really missing out on a lot of the diversity that's out there. And that's kind of the same for native bees. Most people are only aware of honeybees, which are actually non-native. Those are the golden retrievers of the bee world. But in reality, when we're talking about native bees, we're not actually talking about breeds. We're talking about species. And there are over 4,000 species of native bee in North America alone. And just for some context, dogs, despite all their variability, they're only one species. So you can imagine the amount of variation that you have in traits and lifestyles when you have 4,000 different types of bees. There's big bees, there's little bees, there's shiny bees, there's fluffy bees. There's some bees that live communally, although most of our bees actually operate solo. There's bees whose offspring can only eat pollen from one type of plant. And there's bees that don't even collect pollen. Instead, they attack other bees' nests and lay their eggs in there. And just like dogs, our native bees provide a lot of services to humans. They may not be quite as snuggly, but they pollinate our crops and they keep our ecosystems functioning smoothly. And this is where we get to the title of my talk. In the Great Plains, the majority of our native bees depend on grasslands for the resources that they need to survive and reproduce. And in the United States, in particular in the Midwest and the Great Plains, the breadbasket of the US, we've done an impressive job of plowing under or paving over the majority of our native grasslands to the extent that we have less than 50% remaining. And with so little native grassland remaining on our landscape, it means it's extra important that bees are able to find the resources that they need in these remaining areas. And that's where my research comes in. We assessed bees and flowers in pastures grazed by cattle or sheep, both to assess baseline characteristics, but also see if there are differences based on grazer type. And after 3 years of data collection, we found that our cattle pastures had 11 times more flowers and 7 times more native bees than our sheep pastures did. In addition to discovering that cows are more compatible with pollinators than sheep, we also found fairly low overall abundance of native bees. And this is concerning, because as we've decimated the grasslands in the United States, our native bees really are trying to survive on just crumbs. And we want every crumb to be as nutritious as possible. My research suggests that we really need to take proactive action to increase the floral diversity and resources that are present on the landscape so that we can continue to support our native bees. Thank you.